KGRA Digital Broadcasting and Pop Culture Minefield presents Dangerous Military Nerds. Dangerous Military Nerds. They're just like regular nerds, only dangerous. And now, your hosts, Don Ecker and Gerry Cassell. Warning. The following program involves discussions between military veterans. Enjoy!
I don't want no teenage queen.
Yeah.
All I want's my M16.
Yeah, there you go. I put up the PG version because Fahim is here, and I don't want to offend him with some of our crassness. I just don't want to do that to him. But I want to welcome everybody here. It is Dangerous Nerds with Don Ecker and my sorry ass, Gerry. And
That's Ecker.
Ecker, the way I like the way he says it with Don Ecker.
By the way, I'm still sucking down coffee, just in case you were wondering.
And I am drinking out of my Springfield Cardinals glass, delicious Mountain Dew. Equivalent to 2 cups of coffee. Yes. So it is Wednesday, which is Dangerous Military Nerds Day. And we have a very special guest here today, an old friend of mine. I met him through working for Dale Dye and Julia. And they started that publishing company, Warriors Publishing Group, WPG. And one of the books they showed me that they wanted, angry-looking Afghanistan man by the name of Fahim Fazli. And so I did the cover, and we talked. I can't even remember why we talked, but we had this conversation, and we just became instant friends. And that was in 2014, I think. And I've loved having him in my life ever since. And one of my favorite things with him was whenever he would call me, he'd go, "Hey, boss." I'm like, "I'm not your boss. I'm your friend." And but that was just, one of the colloquial things he would say. And he's really one of the most proactive, positive people I think I've ever met. And when he's not acting, he's writing. When he's not writing, he's speaking. And he got nominated the first Afghan American actor in film. And I think that's just great that he got that. Even though he's from Iowa, from what I understand, he's not really from Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Fahim Fazli. There he is. What's up?
First of all, I want to thank you. Hey, boss. Thank you for thank you for inviting me again to your beautiful show. And thank you for all you guys for your service for this beautiful country and this country. I'm honored to be part of you guys' show. And I can't wait.
And I do consider you a dangerous nerd because in the middle of your acting career, you left Hollywood and went to serve the U.S. Marine Corps as an interpreter in Afghanistan during the war. And you saw some hairy situations while you were there.
Yep.
And so you are, by every means, a dangerous nerd. And you are a nerd. I know you personally, so
of course,
you are
I'm
a nerd.
A goofy can be.
I love the dog videos that you post.
When 9/11 happened, I saw in my own eyes these hijackers hijacked not only the people of Afghanistan, they hijacked the religion. And this beautiful country gave me everything, saved me from the communists, brought me for this country in 1985, thanks to Ronald Reagan, and accept me as a refugee. And I'm always in the back of my mind, I'm already citizen, I'm already paying my tax. How to pay back for this beautiful country.
To give back to our country, that's right.
Yes. And I was middle of 100 movies, TVs. All of a sudden I stop. I'm saying I want to go pay back. Make sure none of my civilian Afghan die and none of my military people died. The right translation, the right vision I can do as best as I can to do the right translation. And I'm honored I serve my country. I'm honored what I was born. And I'm proud to be called myself Afghan-born American. And I'm very happy to live in this beautiful country.
Well, for him, you don't realize, I am sure, how much of a beautiful sentiment that truly is. I've lived in the United States. Of course, I'm a citizen. I served the nation in the United States Army, went to a combat zone, ended up being wounded in that, came back. Then I became a police officer.
Thank you for
I
your
was
service.
wounded as a police officer. And I got to tell you that the people today in this country truly have no idea what a beautiful situation they truly have here. You don't wake up in the middle of the night wondering if there are armed people going to kick in your door. You don't, as a rule, have to worry about walking outside and being, being accosted by rogues running the streets. We have in this nation had it too good for too long, and the appreciation is totally lacking by the majority of citizens. They don't get it.
A lot of, with respect, I'm not trying to insult anybody. You have to look America in my eyes. This country, you guys have everything: hot water, cold water, electricity. Like you mentioned, when we used to wake up in Afghanistan, I was worried about the Russian troops to kill me. When I went to Afghanistan with U.S. Marine and Army, I was worried about IED. I was worried. Some American, not all of you guys, I would take it for granted, this country. I'm asking you guys, peacefully, lovely, please do not take it for granted, this beautiful country. We're a very good, powerful country. We're very good people. We're the power of nature. We have everything. Do not spoil your kids. Do not shove a technology in their mouth. To send them different country, different third world country, they come back, appreciate this country more.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That's a good statement, my friend. And I know this about you, whereas Don and I are a little more not so even-tempered. We're very critical and harsh, but you have always been such a positive and proactive person, and that's why I love having you on, because you make me feel better just having you around, because you
What
are.
do you mean I'm critical and harsh? What the hell are you talking about?
Look, I'm going to use your own language. You are a crass son of a bitch.
Yeah, he is, but only to sons of bitches.
You are not happy. I'm not happy until I hear him say sons of bitches. At least
Sons
once.
of a bitch. When I first learned English, I used to call people mother bitch. I don't know
Mother
what that
bitch.
means.
I had a Russian friend that couldn't say the word, the F word. He would constantly say fucks. And I'm like, what? Why are you adding a S to it? What is wrong with you?
And the other thing, Gary, when I first come into this country, everyone said my team Laker, my team Boston, my team this. And I called my dad, these people are so rich, they own a team. I didn't know. I said, what the fuck? Everybody own a team. Then later on, I found out. I said, wait a minute. This is my favorite team. But nobody says in America my favorite team. They always say my team Dallas, my team Laker, my team Chicago. That was funny. And when I saw
team-oriented country,
when I learned English, I saw Chicago. I'm saying, wait a minute. Why Chicago start with CH and Christmas will start with K? Why they say Christmas like Chris? Why they say Chris with CH? I was so many confusion going on, and I'm so glad learn the language, learn the culture, appreciate this country more.
Well, Fahim, my friend, you did an excellent job there.
Thank you. And thank you for your service, what you done for outside of with the Army. I work with the Army too. I did my training on Fort Benning, Georgia, and Fort Bliss in Texas. And first DUD department, they put me with you guys. Then later on, they changed me to with the Marines. To me, Marines, Army, Navy, they're all my brothers. I don't have any difference, and I'm so glad I work with all of you guys.
Well, and I tell you, we love our
served.
Terps, man. We love our Terps.
I never served in the Middle East, but I did Southeast Asia. I was actually all over Southeast Asia, and that was of course a different time. But they were still. We were dealing with communists. You dealt with communists in Afghanistan.
Yep.
And you know
Oh,
what a
yeah.
tragedy that is.
They're mean and cowardly. They don't ask questions, anything. I mean, God be with them. I mean, look at they always fall apart because they're doing the wrong direction. They're never, communism is not going to win anywhere because they have a wrong ideology. They have a wrong, mentality. They always lose. They always lose.
Yeah. I want to go onto something here real quick before we go into your past. Even though we've talked about it previously, this is a new show, and I do want to go back and visit like how you came here and all of that stuff. But I want to talk about some of the stuff because you do work in Hollywood. You've been in some great films, Iron Man. You're in the cave scene. You're one of the Afghan rebels or Taliban. And you're also in Chris Kyle's story, American
12 is strong. 12 is strong.
12 strong too. Yes.
Yeah.
You're in
Chris
both those
Kyle,
films.
yeah.
Very good film. You're in that Bill Murray movie about the Casbah, which I
Rock
thought was
the Casbah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rock the Casbah. You got my favorite one because that was where you're a good guy because you almost always end up being a bad guy. Two of my favorites. One was on Louis' show.
Yeah,
I loved you on
CK.
Louis. You're in that scene where he's doing the USO thing and over in Afghanistan. And you play a tribal leader. And the other one is in the John Legend music video because you're a dad in that one, a good guy.
Surefire.
You've made
John
a
Legend.
career of playing bad guys.
Because, to be honest with you, I really love introduce those evils. If you come to real life in Laguna Beach right now, I'm the most funniest guy in the world. I just want to play my character. Doesn't matter what kind of character they give it to me. I want to play it.
Right.
Well, bad guys get serviceable checks too, Gary.
Well, it's true. It's true.
And
But
more
I know
fun.
you personally, and it's just, I think you're one of the loveliest fucking people I've ever met.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you. I
and-
love you too. I love you too. I mean, you guys are awesome. I mean, be honest with you, every time I get into your show, I have a new project. I'm working right now. There's a new Korean movies coming out, The Point Man. It's going to come in next week. That's based on true story. Taliban took 23 hostages and they released them on 2007, and they released them 6 months later. And South Korea government gave Taliban $20 million. It was secret until yesterday. And the Korean people didn't know the Korean hostages got released by $20 million their tax money.
Wow. One thing I wanted to go over, because there's a favorite picture of mine with you, and I'm having trouble finding it. It's where Bill Murray,
You're holding the book.
and he takes the book and he puts my artwork in his mouth. And I just thought that was funny as hell.
If you go to FahimSpeaks.com, you will see it.
I'm going to, I think I found, here's an older one, a black and white one. I'll go ahead and show it. And then I'll show the book.
Sure. There you go. That's the one.
There's the picture of him with the book in his mouth.
And the book.
There
there you go. That's
There
the
you go.
book. You did it. You did a good job. Not only, there we go. You did it.
Not, because I pride myself in the fact that not only do I work for Dale Dye, I also am the artist for all of his books, and that my book covers have more military writers awards on them than any other artist.
And Tom Hanks endorsement.
Yes, Tom Hanks.
And Tom Hanks endorsement right there.
Yep.
Right there in gold medal.
Because that was in Charlie Wilson's war.
Yeah.
Oddly,
You did a good job. You did a good job. You did a good job.
My other buddy, he's American. Kurt Yeager. Don's met Kurt via chat. Kurt actually plays an Afghani in that.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's in the movie with you. And I'm like, what? And I think the reason why is because he was already missing a leg. So they needed somebody without a leg. And he just got cast in that part and they put makeup on him. But Charlie Wilson's War, it's a good film. It's a good film. I like it a lot. Yeah. Hanks does a good job on it.
But your career,
You know, it spans a long time. And you and I have been friends officially 10 years now. You know that.
Yeah. 2014.
No, 2012. I went back, and that's when you and I met. Because I went and double checked just now. I'm like, nope, we met in 2012.
12, yeah. The book released 12. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that.
And the gentleman that co-authored that with you,
Michael Moffat.
Michael Moffat, retired military.
Yeah. Without him, probably I'm not going to finish this book. This guy did so much for me. I met him in Afghanistan. I was recording everything, and I have a dream to write a book about my life story. And I explained it to him. He says, I'm a writer for the military. You want me to help you? And he did. And thanks to him, he's all more than my brother. He opened the door, my dream to write my life story in the book. I mean, you have to understand English is my sixth language. I would no way have finished this book without anybody. By the way, as nobody write a book, I always have people like Mike Moffat help ghostwriter or the other author. They join together as a co-author. They help each other.
Right. And he gave you a lot of assistance in getting this story out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then how did you meet Dale? And what sparked that?
Later on, we have the book in our hand, and we were looking for publisher. And we found him online because he done a lot of movies and stuff like that. We found him. Then Michael Moffat made us set up with him. We went to meeting him, and we give him the book. He looked around, he tossed it to our face. Not my face, Colonel Moffat. He says, you have to talk to Fahim, fix this, fix this, fix this. Then we come in 2 months, 3 months later, he opened it again and tossed it to our face. Go fix this, go fix this, go fix this.
He does do that.
Yeah. Then we come back 6 months later, which is 2012, was getting closer. He says, yeah. Now I need it. I'm honored to publish it, and we publish it. Then that's how you came to the picture, and you send me a couple picture of to Dr. Julia, his wife. Then we look at it, and we saw it, and we fall in love with this one, and the rest of it's history.
Yeah, and I did like that. I like getting to draw your face. You have such an interesting face.
Distinguished look.
You are very distinguished, no doubt about it. Yeah. And for the back, I put the Hollywood sign and all that shit. But
you did right here, the back.
And of course, I'm going to get the link here so people can go get your book from Amazon.
Oh yeah, and we're working. I don't know if I've mentioned or not. Right now, we wrote a script already with Lance Mayhew and Michael Moffat. 3 of us. We wrote the script, and it's called A Man of Two Worlds. We changed the name. It's going to be the movie. It's going to be A Man of the World.
Well, it's a whole licensing thing. I know. You run into that with publishing because you and I wanted to do a graphic novel years ago.
Yeah,
and we ran into that problem.
Yeah.
But how's that going? How's that progressing?
It's good. I just came back from a film festival in Palm Springs with my lady and I. We were there for 11 days, and I give my script to a bunch of producer directors. And a couple of them response back. We have to sign a waiver, and it takes time because there's still film festivals active. We just waiting to get the answer, and we're looking for investors too. If any one of your audience wants to join us, you're welcome to join us to become investors. And we're ready to shoot. And there's going to be a great example for the future of young children of America, and a great lesson for other immigrants, how to appreciate this country, how I pay my dues, and I never give up. I'm always being on top of it, my dream, my passion, and we did it.
Fahim, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I would love to ask you. Number one, when I was in college, I majored in history. History is a love of mine from the time I was very small. And I guess I get a lot of that originally from my father. But military history has always been, first and foremost, my greatest love. Now, when I was growing up and later on when I lived, I'm originally from the East Coast of the United States, from Pennsylvania. And over time, I ended up moving west until I finally ended up here. But when I lived in Colorado, I had the opportunity to meet and became friends with a guy who originally emigrated from Hungary. And during World War II, had served in the Hungarian military and basically had attended the Hungarian equivalent of West Point in Hungary. He ended up in the German army. He was a tanker officer. They served on the Eastern Front in Russia after the Nazis invaded Russia. Then they were driven back until basically the Germans or the Russians overran Hungary, became a POW, was a prisoner of war. Now, I can remember when I first met him, he was very interested in my experiences in Southeast Asia, Vietnam. And I, of course, just ate up what he told me about his experiences on the Eastern Front. Later, I met some Koreans who had served in the South Korean army during that conflict. And, it just kind of went on from there. Now, what I wanted to ask you, the mental processes that would allow somebody to wrap themselves up in explosives to go in and basically detonate those explosives among civilian people, for example, like has happened so many times in the Middle East. What is the mental processes, in your opinion, that would allow that? Now, in the West, there have been soldiers that have sacrificed themselves, but it's not something that most, at least American soldiers or Marines, encompass. Okay, it's not something they want to do, but yet so many times in the Middle East, it seems like there are people that are more than willing to do that. Now, you come from that area. What is it, in your opinion, that would make these people want to do something like that?
Like you mentioned, you come from history. If we rewind our tape, how suicide started. Suicide started from Japanese kamikaze. Suicide started from German. They put it on the German Shepherd dog bomb, and they make him run towards the tank, and the tank blew up. Then the Irish suicide bomber started. Later on, the fundamentalist Wahhabis, which is the Saudi, they brainwashed the minority of people, uneducated people. And like earlier I told you, they not only hijack the religion, they hijack the culture, and they always target uneducated, poor people. They offer them to how to survive and go blow up yourself. Christian is bad, the Jews bad, and the Buddhist bad. We're the right people. If we think about it, every religion, every culture has a fundamentalist. They brainwash their people. Some of them very extremely, some of them not extremely. Yes, I'm agree with you. And this is wrong what they do. They hijack. I mean, my experience when I was in Afghanistan, we captured a 16 years old boy. He wants to blow up himself. And it took me a couple hours or 4 or 5 hours to convince them to not dent it. The wire was coming from here. All he has to do this. And later on, I talked to him, and I translate the whole document, the whole story, why he became a suicide bomber. He says, they're holding my family hostage. If I don't do that, they're going to kill me, and they killed my family. And they believe, and the part of the Quran says, wrong translation, I'm going to heaven, and I'm be more peaceful than heaven. And that's how they brainwashed them, in my opinion. And I'm not religious. I'm not follow any religion. My religion is love, my dog, and the spiritual and countries. And yeah, they get brainwashed, and they always target poor and uneducated people. And for $200, $300, they go blow up themselves for sacrifice for their family, my families, to be safe.
Horrifying, man. Let's dig back into the past. And before we do, I want to show some pictures.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Clint Eastwood and you, and Clint holding the book. Good photo.
Yep.
And that was from American Sniper.
Yep.
Here you are with Bill. I found the picture.
Yep.
And here's another funny picture of you with Bill.
We're punching each other.
Yeah. Here we go from NCIS.
Mark Harmon.
Mark
Actually,
Harmon.
I'm working next week with him.
That's fantastic, brother.
He
And I
quit.
really
Actually,
like this
he
one.
resigned. Not resigned. He retired actually 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's crazy, the changes that have happened on the show. I will be checking it out when you're on there, and that'll be in 2 weeks, you said?
In 2 weeks, I shoot. Release
Oh,
going
you
to be
shoot.
a month. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a month before it airs. And then there's this great picture of you with Chris Hemsworth
Yep.
from 12 Strong, which was originally called The Horseman, I think it was.
Horse Soldier.
Horse Soldiers.
They changed the name because
about
there was an old movie, Horse Soldier. They didn't want to copy each
John
other.
Wayne. Yeah,
John Wayne.
Yeah.
John Wayne and Rock Hudson, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, Rock Hudson.
No.
no,
No, it wasn't.
no. The Horse Soldiers
Holden.
was
Holden. William
Holden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Good film.
Civil
Good
War.
film.
It was a Civil War. Garrison's raid into the South, cavalry raid.
And again, the link is in the chat right there. Get your own copy of that book. I am certain Fahim would gladly sign it for you.
Of
If
course.
you contact him. You can contact him through
You're
his
welcome
official
anytime.
Fahim, it's FahimSpeaks.com, right?
Are
Yes.
you out here in California, Fahim?
I'm in Laguna Beach, California. Yes, sir.
I'm in the San Fernando Valley.
He's always hanging loose. Hang loose, bro.
I'm losing.
Have
Play
you surfed?
volleyball.
Have you
Play
surfed?
volleyball.
'Cause I know you play volleyball. Do you surf?
No, I'm afraid the shark ate me.
Oh, yeah, good.
Do you want to hear some funny joke?
Yeah.
3 people was on the boat: German, American, Indian. The boat was sinking. The American jumped, swim. The shark eat him. And the German said, "What the fuck I'm gonna do?" The German jumped, swim. The shark eat him. Then the Indian, "What I'm gonna do?" "Okay, I'm gonna jump." He jumped, swim. The shark let him go. He looked at the shark, say, "Why you didn't eat me?" The shark says, "I ate one of you guys 4 years ago. I'm still burning."
Okay,
And I have
here you go. You get this.
And I have a one cop show, if you don't mind, sir. First of all, I want to thank you for your service. This cop saw a car was going 90 miles per hour. He go after him. He saw the guy was going 100 miles per hour. He go chase him. All of a sudden, he pull over. The cops ask him, "Give me one good reason, I'll let you go." The guy look at him, "Sir, my wife ran away with a police officer 4 months ago. I thought you're going to bring her back." That's why I didn't stop.
But let's delve into your history again, because I know you and I've talked about this a lot, but we have a lot of new listeners here, and I would really like to give them a chance to hear your story and how you left. Afghanistan, and that you were at first the only one that left, as I recall, right? Some of your family, the rest of your family stayed behind.
I'll make it clear. Make sure everything's you hear right. Some people I left early, but no. In 1979, I was 12 years old, and the Russian invaded Afghanistan, and they took over Afghanistan in 24 hours. And they kill as much as they can because our family was the King family, and we some of our family jeeps come in, pick them up, they put a cover on, they send them in the mountain, drop them off from helicopters, this. And my mom was a midwife for the president of Afghanistan. My dad was a president of National Bank. And one day we were in the school, jets come in from Moscow bombing our presidential castle, and the president got killed, his family got killed, everybody got killed. And I came home from school, I saw my dad was a little upset. My mom didn't show up. Later on, my mom showed up. Like a couple hours later, she started crying and says, "They're gonna kill me if I don't leave. I have to leave." Then she took my brother, an older brother, and two younger sisters. A taxi, yellow taxi, came in, pick her up, and left. We didn't see her for 6 years. And the time I was there fighting the communists as a youngster, I became a freedom fighter. I was doing as much as damage I could, passing flyers, propaganda flyers, and go to their bases, get information, and find out what they're up to, and give to the freedom fighters. Of course, those freedom fighter was working with the CIA together. Then 4 years later, my dad made a decision. Me and my younger brother, we haven't seen my mom and my brother and sister. We walked 7 days, 7 nights, go all the way down to Pakistan, and we arrive in a refugee camp in Pakistan. And after that, we go to the embassy, U.S. embassy, asking where's my mom is. I never forget that one of the Marines says, "We don't know where's your mom is. Where's her last name? What's your first name? Da da da." And 2 weeks later, come back. We will let you know where. And 2 weeks later, of course, with a translator. That's why I became a translator later on. And I never forget the Marine guy helped us a lot. And we. 2 weeks later, come back and they said, "We found your mother after 6 years." She's and my brother and two sisters in Virginia. Some church sponsored them. They took them to Virginia as a refugee. And thanks to Ronald Reagan, he was the one accepting refugee. And that time, Charlie Wilson was fighting, sending the Stinger in Afghanistan, and they were very pro-Afghan to fight. Ronald Reagan says, if you want to defeat the communists, Afghan blood, American weapon. Afghan, they are good fighters because we've known for defeating Alexander the Great, Mughal, Genghis Khan, British 3 times. We're known for defeating empires. That's why they call Afghanistan graveyard of empires. Then later on, we got on the phone with my mom, and my mom and dad have some kind of argument over the phone because some of my relatives tell my mom Fahim got killed and my brother got killed, and my father got married a young woman, which is all false. They try to mess it up with my mom's brain. And I pick up the phone. Of course, my voice changed. I'm 18 years old. And my mom says, "Who's this man?" I'm saying, "I'm not a man. I'm a boy still, Mom. I'm Fahim." Then I describe everything. And life was so tough that time. I talked to my mom after 6 years. Then later on, Robert Filney, thanks to him, the church in Charlottesville sent us a sponsor. And after 6 years, we joined together in 1985. We got together with my parents and family. Everybody got united.
And one of the tragic things was that you were lied to.
Yeah.
That
they actually, one of my dad's sister was living in Washington, lied to my mom because, in-laws, they never like you. In-laws always cause problem. And yeah, she did it. But
it's nice to know that it's not just in America.
No, any culture, anything. I mean, it's sad, but we saw, goes around, comes around. We saw a lot of damage to her family, I mean, I'm not wishing for them, but we saw a lot of damage. A lot of damage. I really believe that goes around comes around.
But I am curious. The whole acting thing with you, like, what sparked that? We've never talked about that. Like, what made you think about being an actor?
My dream, I ask myself 6 questions, and I hope your audience to make a note. Please make a note for yourself, and you later on you pass it to your children. It's very important to ask yourself 6 questions. Who am I? Who I want to be? What I want to be? What's my dream? What's my passion? What's my hobby? And this 6 question, I always in the back of my head, who I am, who I want to be, where I want to be, what's my dream, what's my passion, what's my... And when I was a kid, I always want to be in front of the camera. I was afraid of my dad because in our culture, Central Asia culture, being an actor or singer is a low-life things to do. And they always want us to become a doctor, engineer, all these other stuff. But I was hiding from my mom and dad. I was going my own room. Actually, I didn't have my own room. I was going hiding somewhere, acting in front of the mirror, and with my brother telling me to close the curtain, open the curtain, those little things.
like a movie theater. Got it.
Yeah, movie theater.
Who are the actors that you liked that lead you to
Charles Bronson. Yeah, Bronson. And a lot of Indian actor. I was following Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmender.
You like Bollywood?
Bollywood, because we're neighbor. We grew up in that culture.
Right.
And we grew up in that culture. And that was my dream. That was my passion. And I came to America. I became a top salesman at Nordstrom, top salesman on construction, top salesman on mortgage. And I wasn't happy. The reason I wasn't happy, that wasn't my dream. And I rewind my tape in my head, and that 6 question, I answer it, and I go work as an extra. And slowly, I got a job as a speaking part, and slowly, I got a bigger role, and the rest is history.
I got to tell you, man, I'm not going to be happy until I see you dancing and singing in a Bollywood film. I can only imagine it, dude. I mean, looking like Triple R. Come on, man. You should be in like Triple R, the sequel.
I did work a lot of Indian movie too. I love Indian.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, I love Indian people too. They're the nicest
they're amazing.
people. They're the sweetest, nice. You know why they're smart? I just found out. Because they eat turmeric and curry. Turmeric is good for your brain.
I take it as a supplement. Not just use it as a spice. I take it as a supplement.
Can you buy supplement pills?
Yeah, you can buy turmeric as a supplement. I take a big capsule every morning.
I mean, look at the Japanese.
Control blood sugar too.
And look at the Japanese. They're smart because they don't eat their red meat. And look at the Indian. They're vegetarian too. I mean, they know these people live 110, 120 years old. The longest Japanese man was living 130.
But do they enjoy it?
Do they enjoy it?
I can tell you're a red meat guy. Red meat.
Oh, man. Look, I'm going to die dumb because I got to have my red meat.
You're already smart. You take a turmeric.
Yeah, turmeric is really good. I take a lot of supplements. One of our biggest supplements is stuff called Fuel Up. It's one of our sponsors. And Fuel Up is delicious. I'm making a new commercial for us, Dawn. I think I already told you about it, and we're going to each do our little testimonial because that stuff's amazing.
Oh, man. It's a powder? What is it?
It is a powder drink mix you add to a drink. And I got to tell you, all the way up until I started taking it, I napped every day, right around 2 to 4. I would take a nap. Old man nap. I call it old man nap.
No, you must be, what do you call it? Middle Eastern. You take a siesta.
Siesta, look, I'm telling you, the Hispanic culture nailed it when they created the siesta. What a great concept.
From Spain and Portugal.
But since I started taking this supplement, I feel so energized all the way through the day. I don't want to take a nap.
Do you know what they call it? The 30-minute siesta? Recharge your brain.
Recharge your brain, yeah.
You know why Einstein is
he napped all the time, yeah.
He napped there all the time. When he come home, he put his leg against the wall, let the blood's coming down, and you sleep better.
Yep.
For 20 minutes.
Einstein had some interesting quirks, and
Oh my God.
I discovered after reading about him that I have some of those same quirks, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
he did the E equal MC squared, Gary.
Yeah, E equals energy times the square root of speed of light.
You know what else Einstein said? Einstein said,
"Get off my toe" to his wife.
No, he says, they ask him, if you have money, what do you do? He said, buying time. Time never come back.
Very true.
He also said, I think my niece is so pretty.
Freud was kind of like that too.
Like that.
What I find interesting with Einstein is with people, intelligent people, is that they tend to wear the same things. They don't. It's almost like they have a costume from a sitcom. They always have the same clothes on, and it's in order to reserve their brain for other things. They don't care about fashion and what they wear.
They don't.
And
care.
he just wore the same thing every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, so I started doing it, but I don't feel any smarter.
You are already smart, my friend. You're intelligent and good man. You're a very good man.
Sometimes he says things, Fahim.
I say things that are pretty dumb.
I need a tune-up sometimes.
So what was the first thing you did, acting-wise, here in the U.S.?
Rumble
Was it
3.
stage or film?
No, there was actually I did it adult school. I did the stage, and with my broken English, I did all the drama for adult school. And later on, I joined Central Casting, LA Casting. I got an extra job for Rumble 3. Then slowly did a lot of TV, 24, the TV show 24. I did Three's Company, extras, not main characters as a background. You have to start it from the ground zero. You cannot be, doesn't matter how good actor yours. They're not, even Tom Hanks, not Pacino, everybody started from as an extra first. All these guys, there's what do you call it? Tom Hanks started from Fremont, California, Shabu College. He went to Shabu College and he started from the school. And he started as an extra. Same thing with Clint Eastwood. Everybody started as an extra. Nobody born natural actor in the first shot get it. The spoiled kids, like a Charlie Sheen, the father, great grandfather, everybody's an actor. They do. There's a lot of connection. There's a lot of favor, but some people they want to start it from zero.
Oh, I just read your message, Chanel. You've always wanted to move to Spain for a long time. Chanel, of course, is our producer. She's backstage, and she posts that little message. So that's really cool, Chanel. I've been to Spain. I went to Malaga and Marbella, and I loved Marbella. Have you ever been there, Fahim?
No, I've been
Madrid.
Cross the ocean from Morocco. Sevilla.
What'd you think of that?
Oh my God, the nicest people, dressed nice, beautiful. The food was so good, and everybody was friendly. I like Sevilla. Then we drove to Faro and Lisbon. We went all the way down to Portugal. It was beautiful.
Oh,
that was beautiful.
That place is so gorgeous. It's the place where you can actually find a palm tree to lie under.
Yeah.
Off the beach. So you get to the United States and you've got the hankering, I'm going to be an actor. And your brother's with you at this time, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, the whole family would. No, the whole family was.
The whole family was. Okay.
The whole family, we came to California from Virginia.
And as I told you, I grew up in Virginia, and you actually lived not very far from where I live.
Charlottesville,
yeah.
Charlottesville. But I did try my best to bring my brothers to the acting business. There wasn't capacity for them. They go their own direction. But you have to understand, Gerry, acting is in our culture is not very.
It's frowned upon. I know.
Yeah, it's not. And actually, when
you're the black sheep of the family.
I was the black sheep of the family. But now they respect me. Now they respect me. They says, "Wow,
well, look what you've helped do for your culture."
culture, and I did for both country.
You've become an ambassador in so many ways.
Yeah, actually, I was nominated one of the ambassador. If you Google it, Fahim, they select me the Afghan ambassador for United Nations. It was interesting how we came, and one brother go this way, one sister go this way. You know what we say? 5 fingers. They're coming from one foundation, but it has a different character. Short, long, thin, everybody. Same thing with the family.
So how satisfied are you right now with your career? I mean, you just did that movie, that action monster movie. And I was angry, by the way. You died way too early.
Yeah, they killed me at the beginning.
I also got mad watching Echo 3 because
they do a lot of
first episode.
Actually, they didn't kill me. One of my commander got killed.
I thought you died with him.
No, I didn't. I didn't get killed. Maybe we all look like. I'm sorry.
Shut up. No, for some reason I thought that
they tried to bring me back.
Fire happened and they showed a bunch of dead guys. I assumed you were in that body count.
No. One of my commander got shot, and if you notice down the trees, I took off.
And, I'm going to go back and watch that again.
And Mark says, Fahim, the reason I didn't want to kill you, we might go season 2, then bring you back. Yeah, which is the Taliban stories right now is very
well. They need a better military
what show
advisor.
was this?
Echo 3. They've got a problem with the military advisors. It's really bad.
Oh, I know.
I liked the acting in it, and that scene was really one of the best moments in the show. But they have a problem. They carry their weapons wrong. These guys are supposed to be tier 1 operators, and guys holding an. Well, I showed it to you, Don, where he's holding an M4 model, and his arm is all the way out at the end of the grip. And I'm like, nobody does that. You have no control over your weapon when you hold it that way. But they're good actors. I like all the actors in it. I think that if they get a real military advisor on that show, it'd be a lot better.
Believe it or not, none of them American.
No, they're all English.
Australian, New Zealand.
Oh, I thought he was English, the main guy.
No, he's from Irish. He's Irish.
Irish? Holy shit.
Yeah, he's Irish. And the other guy, the other main character guy, is from Holland. Netherlands.
Really?
Yeah.
His accent really struck me as not being from the Netherlands.
Yeah, yes. We were shot at in Angel Fire, New Mexico. Looked like Afghanistan. That was in March 2020. That was a great experience.
Before we lose you, I wanted to go to some of the chat questions. Let's see what somebody said. We got some highlighted. Zax, my buddy Kyle, says, on his, being you, demo reel, Fahim is working with Pablo Schreiber, who more recently played Master Chief in the Halo series. That's interesting. What was it like working with
Great guy. That guy's very calm, very relaxed, full of education. He was a former Marine Special Force, I think.
I'm not surprised. He handles his weapons well and whatever.
Oh, he's so good. He's one of my very good advisor and actor too. He's a great guy.
Good stuff. Anima Confusa, who is also my girlfriend, by the way. She's Austrian. She's from Vienna.
Vienna.
Yeah.
Nice, good-looking people.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
Do you know Red Bull coming from Austria?
Yeah.
The capital of Red Bull is coming from Austria, and they have a similar accent like a German.
It's a prettier. They speak German. When a German speaks it, it's so harsh. But when someone from Vienna speaks German, it's so lyrical. It's just gorgeous.
Go with the flow.
Very soft, gentle, and she speaks, and it just tickles me. Dawn likes her too. She loves Dawn. My girlfriend just loves him. She says 6 languages. Holy shit. 3.5 is almost normal over here because she lives in Croatia now. Right. It's just weird for U.S. guys. Whatever.
You know who speak one language? American.
Yeah, typical. Yeah. Then she says 3 really good. French needs practicing, and she's talking about herself now. I can figure out others like Italian or Spanish with Latin, because all the Latin-based languages, you can catch the derivation where everything comes from and figure out what they're saying. But that doesn't count, she says. I know a lot of opera and theater people. Most of them say the bad guys are more interesting and more fun to play. By the way,
I love you.
You know, I hope you remember who my favorite bad guy you ever played is, because I've talked to you about it numerous times. Let's see if you remember.
Oh, damn it.
We kicked the shit out of him. Eventually, he got executed. There's your hit.
Robert Downey Jr.?
No, Saddam Hussein.
Oh, Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, it was show Versus.
Yeah, I did
where
that.
You played Saddam Hussein versus Ho Chi Minh, I think it was.
No, Pol Pot.
Pol Pot. That was it. Pol Pot.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
And you won. As I recall,
life
right?
is over. I shot him in the head.
You killed him. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Saddam Hussein. Yes.
You know, they should do it Taliban versus a Russian.
Especially now that we got some actual bad guys coming from the Taliban and Al Qaeda. Let's see. Mad Mardigan will be joining us in the second hour, by the way, Don. This is my buddy. You
didn't clear that with me.
It was just suddenly while we were talking.
You didn't clear it.
He's like, you motherfucker, where's my invite? So I'm like, okay, I'll invite you. This is Mad Mardigan, good friend of mine. Here I am to join and no invite. Quote, oh, but Mad, I always send you an invite, blah, 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 blah. That's you, Gerry.
You have to invite him before they get pissed off.
Oh, God, here's my girlfriend talking about being a vegetarian. Jesus Christ. You got her started.
She's a smart.
Whatever.
We are the same page. We foreigner think
vegetables have feelings too, you know.
No,
yes, they do.
Grass.
They feel
grass.
pain. They feel pain.
Grass.
When you mow it, that smell, that's them screaming.
Did you guys hear they closed Walmart in Afghanistan?
No. What happened?
Because too many targets.
Oh my God. You and your dad jokes. I swear to God.
Why is that?
I'm stealing that one.
I'm stealing that
Why
one.
Santa Claus wife never get pregnant? Because he's coming once a year. Why Santa Claus wife get pregnant every 9 months? Because she's a ho 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 ho.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Parrot Head. Oedipus took it further, like
about
Oedipus Rex.
That thing for your when you were talking about the Einstein and Freud thinking about their nieces.
Oh, when Don said that, yeah.
I love German woman.
By the way, we're reaching the end of the show with you, buddy. I know you have to go at the top of the hour.
Thank you for allowing me to be.
I wasn't sure if I was going to ask you to stick around for after the commercial break, but I've caught it early enough to where we can bid you a fond adieu. Gotta have you back soon. Gotta have you back. Of
course. And I would love to stay longer because my dog's sitting right here. I wish I pulled the camera, and we have to do some.
Same thing with Don, by the way, Fahim. Same thing with Don. His dog, Beagle Bailey, sits next to him and gives him the dirty stink eye if he doesn't feed her at the right time. It's funny.
I love you guys. Thank you, Don. Thank you. The
Fahim,
rest of the
it truly has been a pleasure.
Thank you for the audience listening, and I'm honored to call myself proud American, proud to be in this beautiful country. And thank you for allowing me to. Thank you again.
And we're happy to have you, my friend.
I'm so glad to have you in my personal life.
Watch my Korean movie, The Point Man. The Point Man. It's coming soon.
All right, we'll be keeping a look for it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. God bless. See you later, buddy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. What'd you think? You see why I love that guy so much?
Oh, hey, it's great. I'd love to be able to sit down and spend a couple hours talking.
We've got to get him on for the full show next time. Just such a great dude, man. Patriotic. Loves his country, served this country. And even though he's not an official like member of the Marine Corps or the Army. He is part of the DOD.
I hope they let him pack when he was out there.
I don't know. I don't. What do you mean?
When he was over
weapon.
there doing,
I'm thinking like luggage. Oh man,
Gary,
I don't think he carried a weapon.
More fuel up.
Yeah, more fuel up. I don't think he carried a weapon. Next time we have him on, we'll talk to him about it. Because I'd like to talk to him about his experience in Afghanistan serving as an interpreter for the U.S. Marine Corps. And here we are. We're at the top of the hour, ready for our commercial break. So take it away, Chanel. Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Behind every folded flag is a family. When American lives are lost in defense of our freedom, TAPS is there to help the friends and families of those who have served and died. TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for survivors. We provide help, hope, and healing every day. Visit us online at TAPS.org or call 1-800-959-TAPS.
Are you looking to go on a faraway journey that is magical and mysterious, reaping on mystical legends? If so, then Mysterious Adventure Tours is perfect for you. Imagine a voyage to explore ancient mysteries of Ireland, haunted majesties of Scotland, or their chilling Birth of the Vampires in Romania. These small, esoteric getaways are limited and do fill up fast. So, go to mysteriousAdventuretours.com and book your trip soon.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Oh, wow, we survived. Welcome back from the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. Giggity, giggity.
I can't,
All right, what's
I
in the
can't
book?
get over you sound so freaking goofy.
Yay! Again, folks, here's where you can get your copy of the book, Fahim Speaks, over on Amazon. Click that link. I just put it in the chat again. And if you get a hold of him or me, I'll make sure to get you through to him so he can sign the copy for you. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful story, and he's a beautiful man. He really is. I love Fahim. I cherish having met him, and I thank Dale and Julia every day that they brought him into my life. Just such a positive, proactive person. But we are now in the second hour of the show. And if you think that I'm an asshole, wait till you meet this guy. That's Mad Mardigan.
Oh, look at me. I'm Gerry. I don't think Mad's important enough for the first hour. Put him in the second hour. Hang on.
And you still didn't clear it.
I still didn't clear it with
I'm
Don.
fixing the settings on my.
Don is the Don.
Hang on.
He's the Godfather. Mad, this is Don. Don, this is Mad
we've
Mardigan.
met. Gerry,
How you doing?
how's it going? Again,
How did you two meet?
I don't know.
In this very show?
Yeah.
This very show, I think.
100%.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I've smoked a lot of crack since the last time, so good luck.
You son of a bitch.
Butt
Hey.
crack.
Hey, chat, let me know if my audio, if it gets like static, like not that. That was me doing a sound. But if you hear a sound similar to like, let me know. It's a new computer. I'm trying to get everything.
Yeah, I can hear a little
Worked
bit of a
out.
click every once in a while. And it's a
dang
problem.
it.
Mine is a GPU, CPU thing. They conflict with
Jeebus,
each
go
other.
back to your bong, will you?
Okay, Jeebus.
Man, I gotta figure out what the hell is happening with my audio. It's weird.
Well, check see if it's the same problem because mine is a conflict between the CPU and the GPU, and it'll kick my audio and just make it start crackling. And I just unplug, plug it back in, it reboots to this, the server. So, but anyway, it's good to see you, man. How you doing today,
Yeah.
man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Trying to get things set up on the computer. Played up.
I like your background. Is that a real background or is that digital?
Yeah, no, that's real, man. That's Elgato wave panels.
I love those, man.
Yeah, they're really awesome, dude. Really, Elgato. I'm a big fan of pretty much all of Elgato. I use the Shure SM7B mic, but I have the Wave XLR from Elgato. My lights are from Elgato camera. Yeah, I dig all their stuff, man.
You
They're
see
good- they're
this
good people.
behind me?
Uh-huh.
That's my fucking wall.
It's a wall.
I mean, no argument here. That is a wall. No.
I'm glad to get you on here, man, because I wanted you to be a part of this for a while. Because you're one of my favorite veteran buddies, and
Yeah, man. It's just
and you're one of the
been
few people that I'll actually shut up and listen to when you're doing stuff. I don't agree with you half the time, but I don't care. I love your attitude about things, and
Yeah, nor
and
should
you and I have a
mean,
tendency of really making that show Toxic Tuesday really gay. You and I have that thing.
maybe you. I don't know what me.
You totally make it gay. Don't even act like you don't.
No, I wanted to come on for the top military movies because I hate Hurt Locker so much, and
You and
I was
both, man.
I hear people sometimes. Adam and Stitch. I love Adam and Stitch.
You hate the Hurt Locker?
Yes.
My favorite military actor, Jeremy Rennie.
No,
Don, you fucking with
that's
me?
not it. He's good at. I like him. I don't know about you, but I
love Mayor of Kingstown. Best show
Fuck
on
yeah.
TV right now.
You and I were just talking about last night.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things on TV.
Bro, I rewatched the first season this past week, and the tactical movement of their SWAT team, unbelievable. Whoever the SWAT leader is, I love him. He's no nonsense. Telling the dude, now raise the gun up, now slowly bring it down.
Oh yeah, and he kills him.
Yeah.
That was one of the best moments of season 1 is when the guy's like, you want me to do what? It's like, you're about to be murdered, bitch. You are about to be murdered. He's telling you to do this so it looks like he was defending himself.
It's brilliant, dude. They're so good. Yeah, I really like that. The Outpost, I think, is still pretty top for me. Yeah.
I still haven't shown that to my girlfriend. She had a
Did you
tough
ever
time with
see
Black Hawk
Alien
Down.
Outpost?
Alien Outpost.
Black Hawk Down's another great one, man, and that had everybody in it. Orlando.
No, I'm
Bloom was in it.
serious. Alien
You want
Outpost.
to know if you've
dude.
seen the Alien Outpost movie?
The Alien Outpost movie?
Oh yeah.
It's real.
I'll put it on a list.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's good.
Is this from is this a Korean War?
No,
movie?
No,
modern.
no.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
Alien
been in the
Outpost,
last
I'm gonna put it on
15
the list.
years.
Oh, so we're using
about
modern
20
very loosely.
Very loosely.
13 or 14, I think.
Yeah, it's right around that area. It might be 10 years old.
Oh, I found, man. Oh, it's a documentary crew follows an elite unit of soldiers in the wake of an alien. Come on, Don. I mean, obviously, I'm going to watch it.
I got so annoyed.
No,
with it.
obviously, it sounds goofy until you see it.
Okay, man. This is going to be some hardcore shit. It's going to be like, what was that Battle for L.A.?
Yeah.
With, that film movie.
As goofy as it is, I do like it.
Oh, I love it. I
It's
thought it
a
was
fun movie. The
Yeah.
swimming pool scene is one of my favorite moments because
Yeah.
I was told by my sergeant, when all else fails, go grenade bowling.
Frag out.
Frag out.
Sure.
And Toss
yeah.
that frag into the fucking water.
I tossed a couple of those puppies. Oh yeah.
For Military
You
Monday.
want to
Oh,
make
nice.
sure you don't get in the way when
I've
they go
not
bang.
wanted to put her through it yet. She survived watching Black Hawk Down, and that tore her up. And I said,
Man.
what would break you is to find out that one scene that really broke her was when the dude gets blown in half. I said,
Oh yeah, yeah.
in real life, he lived almost an hour before he died. Ridley was like, I can't make the audience endure this.
No.
And he just let him die quickly.
But yeah, man, that movie had everybody in it though. Josh Hartnett was in it. Eric Bana was in it.
Fuck
It
yeah,
had everything.
as Hoot, yeah. And then you got Brett Bain, what's his name? Tom.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
He's the saw gunner.
Yep.
And anybody that's ever
British
been around a saw gunner, that is a complaint. It's a real legitimate complaint how loud that fucking thing is. There's Bailey. That's Beagle Bailey,
There's my
dude.
girl.
Shit, man. I had to carry around the 240 Bravo in the field at Hood for an entire exercise, man. At 240 Bravo, that thing's almost as tall as me, man. It's huge.
Oh, you ain't lived until you had a 60, and you've got about 1 million bad guys coming through the wire, and it jams. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
Belt fed is a bitch to deal with, man.
Hmm?
Belt fed is a bitch to deal with.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Now, I was telling Don that on the Saw, the one thing I thought was funny was the nickname given to the ammo sack that you load onto it. It's called a nut sack.
Nutsack.
Don't we know
Did
the
I?
nut sack?
Oh man, look, I don't know if I've ever told you. I'm not gonna tell the whole story this time because I only got here the second hour. But the worst soldier it ever came across was Andrew Miller. I'll say his whole name because that's how shit he is. I hope he gets shit from this. Anyway, he tried to correct a Navy SEAL one time. It didn't go well, but this other time, I was gunning in the Humvee while Brandon, our regular gunner, he had to go to a minesweeper course where they gave him a straw and they're like, all right, poke in the sand until you find a landmine. When are we ever going to pull over the vehicle and let him out to go poke around with a straw? That's not going to happen. It was the dumbest course ever. Anyway, so while he's gone, I'm gunning in the Humvee, and this dude Miller is our dismount, and he had an M4, but we were dropping some guys off at the BIF or whatever, and there's a 24-hour chow hall. Now, is that why we brought people there? Well, they're out past curfew. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so we were clearing our weapons before we go into the chow hall, and this dude, he just couldn't figure out how to clear his M4. He's had this sumbitch since day one of OSID and Knox, but he just cannot clear it. And so somebody grabbed it from him and cleared it for him. He came to us halfway through our deployment. We didn't know this guy before. Anyway, so they gave him a saw because that's what you do. He can't figure out how to clear an M4. Give him a belt-fed machine gun.
Give him a belt-fed weapon, right?
So we're in the Humvee, we're leaving, and before you go out the wire, you got to load up everything. I got a 240 Bravo, I have my M4, I have a shotgun, I have my M9, I'm loading up all my shit, and he's just sitting in the vehicle, and I'm like, hey, are you gonna load that saw up or what? He goes, I can't find my rounds. So our TC, Sergeant Will, I was like, Sergeant Will, did you hear this stupid motherfucker? He goes, what'd he say? And I fucking kicked him. I was a little meaner back then. Fucking kicked Miller. I said, fucking tell him. And he goes, I don't know where my rounds are. It's Sergeant Will's like, what do you, it's not a bag of peanuts, guy. It's a drum magazine. What do you mean you don't know where it is? So we had a magazine feed his 249 while we go out. And luckily we didn't need it. We get back and we're marching to his room. It's Sergeant Will, myself, and this dude Miller. And we go into his room. And I shit you not, his mattress is bent over like this because underneath his mattress, and it's one of the twins, one of the real thin ones, there's this drum magazine underneath his mattress. And in unison, we're like, it's right fucking there, guy. It's under your mattress. This dude.
Oh, God.
It's such an idiot, man.
The nickname for guys like that, one of them in the military is Fuck Chop.
Dude. Man. So
Fumble fuck. Fumble fuck.
this was in 2005, 2006. So internet was a little bit more difficult to get going in Baghdad. A lot of wires had to be ran and shit. But the dude that we were on MySpace back in that day, trying to hook up with chicks on the way when we got back or whatever. And that dude left, and we're like, "Hey Miller, can we use your computer?" He's like, "Yeah, okay." We get on there, and his homepage is crossdressers.com. I'm like, what the fuck? Your homepage? They're like, "Hey man, he's in your squad. You gotta go talk to him." I'm like, "All right, whatever." Right? So I go, and I'm like, what's the deal, dude? He goes, "Well, to tell you the truth, Corporal, I wasn't a cross-dresser. I am a cross-dresser. It's all I ever think about unless I'm playing my video games." This dude brought his Nintendo Cube with him so he could play Pokemon in Baghdad. just to let you know what we're dealing with this guy.
Wow.
You know what? Fuck it. I would tell you the Navy SEAL. I'm already this deep into it.
Yeah, let's hear the Navy SEAL story.
All right. So now you know him. All right. This is him. This is that guy.
That idiot.
It was one of my days off. So obviously I couldn't do anything nice. I had to be in the talk, monitoring the radios. Don't know what I'm doing with these things. This isn't my job. FVCB2 screens and shit. Okay, there's dots. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and somebody brings these two guys in there. They're in DCUs. No nameplate, no rank, just an American flag. That's it. One dude, real quiet, over in the corner by himself doing his own thing. Other dude, talkative. Well, bullshitting, right? At this point, we had the PAC-2. It shoots out a laser you can see with your night vision goggles, right? This dude had like a PAC-12 that wasn't going to come out for another 20 years or some shit. And he's explaining it to me or whatever. I'm like, "Hey, man, let me ask you a question. Like, what do you do?" He goes, "Oh, I'm in the Navy." And my immediate response was like, "Shut the fuck up. You're not in the Navy." Because when I think Navy, I think, you're in the Navy, gay.
Right.
Yeah, right? You don't do shit and you get fucked.
You don't.
But then he's like,
you don't think of door kicker,
Right. So he shows me his ID. He's like, "No," and he's the E8 in the Navy. I don't know what to call it E8, but I immediately know, oh, it's a Navy SEAL. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, man." They were in our area, in our AO, for a few months. Coolest thing I've ever done. They would do small kill teams, right? They would do based like an OPLP, and they would take a couple of us offline to go with them. Coolest thing I've ever done was I got to roll with those guys into this. Into the Haji house, and dude, it was insane just being around those guys because they're at such a different level, but they all look like your neighbors. Half of them look like Gerry, which is weird, but I'm kidding. They look better.
Fuck you.
No, anyway, so real cool dude, man. We're bullshitting or whatever. And again, the other guy, quiet. So somebody comes in, "Hey, ready to talk to you." So he leaves. I go and I sit on these benches, and I'm sitting there, and they're like individual seats, wooden benches. And for some reason, I'm sitting there. Miller comes in, and he sits down right next to me because he's that guy that's gonna piss next to you. Like there's open urinals down there
everywhere, but
the wall, but he's gonna be right. So I'm like, "Miller, what are you doing, you weird motherfucker? Go down 2 or 3. I should have left him next to me so I could have hit him." Anyway, so he moves down or whatever, and outside of this room that we're in, there's a bulletin board that has different info on there, like, "Hey, don't forget about doing this," or "Don't do that," blah blah blah. And we're sitting there.
Yes, your vehicle.
Yeah. The other Navy SEAL, who hasn't said a fucking word, and I'm not going to talk to him because obviously he's a serious person. He clears his weapon, right? So he takes a round that was in the chamber, puts it on the magazine. He does whatever. He puts the magazine back in, rocks the charging handle forward. Same round goes back into the chamber. Miller, having just read this out on the fucking bulletin board, goes, "Every time you chamber a round, the primer gets hit. So you may want to start thinking about rotating your rounds before you have an accidental discharge." And the whole time I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, Miller. Shut the fuck up." But he just kept going. And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, Miller." And I look at him. I'm like, "Miller, get the fuck out of here." He's like, "What did I say?" "Miller, get the fuck out of this room." So I stand up and listen, I've never seen murder in someone's eyes. And I'm not bullshitting. This is literal. He had cartoon skulls like rotating on fire in his eyes. Seriously, that's really what it was. And I'm like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. He's brand new. I swear to Christ, he just read that shit out on the bulletin board." And hand to God, he takes a knife out of his boot, slams it into our table. I didn't say anything about it because he's upset, so I let it go. But he slammed it into our table, and he goes, "If that motherfucker says one more word to me, I'll slit his fucking throat." I've never believed anything more in my life than what he said. So I'm like, oh, absolutely, I'll do it for you, bro. I'll hold him down. But now I got to go figure out who I'm going to tell. I tell everybody, but I had to specifically who I'm going to tell first because that's who's going to ream his ass. And I was like, man, I could tell First Sergeant, but First Sergeant would skull fuck him. Not like he's gay, it would be flaccid, but because he's threatened to do it so many times, this would be the time that he would have to follow through so we would know he was serious. You know what I mean?
Right.
It would be begrudgingly skull fucking him, but he would have to do it. I'm like, I don't want him skull fucked. And then our CEO, he's boring about our XO, who used to be enlisted, also has a lisp, very fun to listen to. And I was like, hey, LT, man, I got to tell you about your boy Miller. He goes, okay, first of all, he's not my boy. Right? I'm like, okay. So I told him what he did, and he goes and finds him. I don't remember everything because I had to leave the room. I was laughing so hard. But the one thing I remember, I'll never forget, LT looks at him, and he goes, Miller, what the fuck were you thinking? I don't care if he tells you to put the round in backwards. He's a Navy fucking SEAL. Lost my shit. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard anyone say. It was fucking great, man. But yeah, he's probably a sergeant major now.
Well, that's the thing. I was talking about this many a time that when you get a fuck chop, you can't fire him.
No.
All you can do is promote him the fuck out of your unit.
Oh, yeah.
And then so often this happens, and I don't know if it ever happened to you, they're your fucking boss like 2 years later.
Oh, no. That didn't happen to me.
You've been promoted so many times.
No, what would happen is they would come up like, hey, they would have some kind of security detail for some general, some shit, and they need people to go and try out or some shit. So they would always send the worst people we had just in the hopes of getting rid of them.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Man, yeah, Miller. Oh, what an idiot, bro.
Hey, where did you go to basic?
Fort Knox. I went to
Knox.
OSID at Fort Knox. Yeah, 19 weeks, one
19
place.
I was for 10 weeks. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because we had a 2-week, what do you call it? The first rotation before us had a delay due to weather. So we got stuck in reception for like 2 fucking weeks with all these failed drill sergeants. Who all had chips on their shoulders. That was fucking fun.
And you had PFCs thinking they were sergeants leading you around because they got. I know exactly what you mean because I got stuck in reception for 3 months. I got to Fort Knox in July, but this was in 2000.
Oh wait, I started basic in July.
Well,
July 4th,
was,
first day.
Yeah. Oh, really? I don't know. It wasn't on the 4th. I mean, I can't remember what day I got there, but we got there in July, and this was 04. So they're bringing everybody they can in, but they didn't have enough space. So there was 50 or 60 of us in reception waiting on the next one, and I did not leave Fort Knox until December. I got there in July, and did not leave until December.
Wow.
Fort Dix. And in January.
Yeah, he was at Fort
Jersey.
Disneyland.
Man,
and everybody closed it down before you went in.
Yeah. I think I saw it in Captain America.
Yeah.
What, Dix?
Dix was closed in the 90s, as I recall, by Clinton.
Yeah, and, Fort Knox, man, it was so cold by the time we got to the winter. We wouldn't want to stop for water if we were doing like a 40K. It always turns into a 50K because somehow they get lost. But because if you would stop, all the sweat would just freeze on you. It just make you even more colder. So you just have to keep going, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You talking about forced march?
Smart. I mean, we just go marching everywhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Army. We're going to go to the ranges today. Oh, we getting in the truck?
Dude.
Yeah, right.
I actually fractured my heel, my left heel early. Within the first 2 weeks of being in. And I had to march around on crutches. Thank God we weren't going to the field yet. It was all individual training. But
you're a profile.
For 3 or 4 weeks, I had to march on crutches everywhere. I mean, miles a day. And at the very end, when you go in, the drill sergeant's like, hey, you need to improve on this. Or, hey, he goes, oh, motherfucker, I was supposed to recycle your ass week 2. I'm like, I mean, it's kind of late now, right? He's like, I ain't doing the paperwork. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
And what recycled means, folks, if you don't know, is if you, instead of kicking you out of the military, they'll make you go and do the whole thing all over.
Start the whole thing over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? December. I've been there since July, and they're like, you got to start again. Get out of here.
No thanks. I told Don a few weeks back about an incident. We had a guy we called New York, and he was problematic. He didn't know how to blend in, how to become a soldier, and he stood out as an individual, and they identified the problem. They took him out one day out on the parade grounds, and they hadn't mowed the lawn, and they made him do low crawl for like an hour and a half.
After he cuts the grass?
Yeah, they didn't cut the grass. It was all tall.
Oh.
So he's low crawling in that shit, and it's cutting his face. Any skin showing was cut. They did this for an hour, and then instead of recycling, they kicked him. And I even told my drill sergeant at the time, I'm like, Dad, that's a dick move, man. You guys should have just kicked him. But they wanted to punish him.
I was at the right. I was in a point to where I saw drill sergeants get physical with some dudes. You know what I mean? But it was shunned. But I saw that shit happen. This one dude, his name was Zaw. He was from Guam or some shit, and we were doing these different drills or whatever, and he was doing a weapon drill with his drill sergeant, and he does it, and the drill sergeant's like, no, you're wrong, Zaw. And he goes, but drill sergeant, no, Zaw, you're wrong. And then he was like, no, and he grabbed his weapon, threw it across this giant room we're in, pinned him against the wall, forearm in the throat, and start screaming at him. And all the other drill sergeants like, turn your fucking heads. No one look.
Our drill instructor was smart enough to shut the door. He called him in the office and then shut the door. And then we just heard shit smashing. And
definitely happened. One dude got his head split open because the drill sergeant threw a clipboard across the
my God, yeah.
right in the forehead, split it open.
We had a training sergeant down at Bragg that was the epitome of the word dick. Okay. This guy would make life miserable for you if he just got laid, because that's the kind of guy he was. Well, at the end of AIT, we were still waiting around to be shipped out to our next spot. So we got put on a grass cutting detail down at the officers' golf course. And they had a lot of ponds down there. Now, you know what it's like in the South around ponds. What do you find?
Snakes.
Alligators.
You find a lot of
alligators
snakes.
too, yeah.
So we're down there chopping grass, and a couple of snakes come out of this shit, and we hacked them. That was the end of the snake. Well, somebody had the bright idea, because the training sergeants had gone out to the NCO club and had their mandatory 14 gallons of beer, came back to the barracks, drunk on their ass, and somebody had the bright idea. I'm not going to say who. His name was Don. Hey, we ought to put one of these snakes in his rack, this dead snake. Well, we did. And this is a no bullshit story. We stripped up the sheet, stuck the snake in there. Snake, of course, is dead. The snake already finished his wiggling and all that kind of shit. So he's laying there dead. This guy comes back to the barracks, crawls into his sack. He lays there for a minute, drunk on his ass, and suddenly he starts screaming. He jumped out of that rack. Now I'm down the hallway, right? A couple other guys, and we're watching this. He comes out of that hanging on to that fucking snake. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Yo, okay, I can top it. Listen, this wasn't in my cycle, but in my unit we had a dude that he was an assistant drill sergeant.
So this is hearsay. Is that it, man? Hearsay?
It's a reliable source. It's a reliable source.
It was there.
It was a reliable source. But what happened was, in the barracks, the latrine on the third story was closed off, right? And nobody's supposed to take a shit in there. And this drill sergeant, he's up there, and someone's shit in there, and he calls all of his fucking guys up there, and he grabs the shit out of the toilet. He goes, "Whose fucking shit is this?" And fucking slams it on the ground. He's screaming at him to clean it up. And then My buddy said he's in the closet or whatever, the wash thing, and he's like, pouring bleach on, and I'm like, no, you really did it. He's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just so angry at them. I hate them so much.
During basic, by the way, to add to this little story, during basic training, they were tearing some of the barracks apart and doing new construction on it.
Yeah.
So between our company and the company next to us, there was nothing but plastic curtains.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fucking weird. And at 0 to dark 30, it was sometime in the middle, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, we just hear screaming and yelling and furniture, like, you know, those big metal bunks being thrown around. And we all haul ass into the hallway. And I'm looking through, and I'm like first there because I'm in the junior command room with me and the other squad leaders. And we all come out and look. And what had happened is this one dude was having a problem with the other dude. And he had climbed up on his bunk and pissed on his head while he was asleep. And the fight went from there. And it was first started with 2 guys, then it was like 4 guys because they're in a bay.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just a fuck Joe moment where they're all fighting. Next thing you know, drill sergeants coming in like in a swarm. And next thing you know, we hear outside, they've got them at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning doing grass drills on a hill.
Dude, man, I wasn't ever in a bay, thank God. When I was there, we had 2, 4, 6, 8. We had 8 in a room. But one of the guys in our room, every night, he would sit up straight up and just stare across. He was in the top bunk and would stare at the other guy across from him, just wide-eyed for an hour, and then lay back down. And he would do it every night. He would just pop right up. So we got the mile an hour to the 100 mile. Was it 100 mile an hour tape? It's duct tape. We duct taped his ass to the bed while he was asleep.
Oh my God.
And in the middle of the night, when he started to try to pop up, he couldn't pop up, and then he woke up and just started screaming.
He couldn't get up.
No, we duct taped him to the bed. Weird motherfucker kept popping up in the middle of the night. It was weird. Don't do weird things when you're around other people.
Oh man, yeah.
So
I had a guy, because this is why I wasn't, I was told I couldn't go Ranger, because I wanted to go Ranger. I wanted to be a combat medic in a Ranger battalion, and I snore like a wild fucking animal. That's the way it was phrased. Like one of the guys I bunked with was like, dude, man, just let me get sleep. Just stay awake. Let me get sleep first, because you snore like a wild animal. And I'm like, really? I had no idea. And it's a problem in the military, man. You got a lot of snorers. But there's one thing. There's this one dude that was like that. His name was TJ, and I'm trying to see if I can find him. Jones was his real name. There's a lot of Jones. We went alphabetical in basic. Like everybody in my squad or my platoon, everybody was J through L last names. I don't know if they did that with you. I don't know if it's a normal thing for everybody. But that's
the only time that happened was when I got the hood. I was in the scout platoon for 112 infantry, and there was damn near 50 of us, and we had one E7 and like 3 specialists, and that's it. There was no room to bring in any sergeants, so they just took everybody from A to H or some shit and moved them to 810 Cav, which is how I ended up there. But yeah, I've never seen them. That's the only time I've ever seen them do anything alphabetically. But man, it was probably
something he did that cycle. And here you go.
Well, this was a hood
right here, Fort Leonard Wood. That's TJ right there. And this motherfucker would wake up at 0 dark 30 so often. And because I was already an EMT and was in nursing school when I joined the Army, so I was already medically trained. And he goes to me, yo, Casey, man, my right arm, I can't feel my right arm. I'm like, it's asleep. You laid on it funny. Fuck off. And he goes, you think I had a stroke? No, you didn't have a stroke. And he did this. I was with him through basic all the way through AIT. Yeah. He was medical. And I would just go, swear to God, fucking shut up with this medical fucking shit. And then he caused a big fuck up for me. You'll find this one funny. our stuff as squad leaders, I would often tell guys when I get back from the weekend, you know, I'd show up and I go, hey man, put my gear in our personal room where you put all your gear. It's a locker. Everything goes in that room. Well, I go in to get my stuff and my stuff's not in there. And TJ was the guy I asked to do that. And so I go in there, I'm like, where's my fucking gear? You know, nobody knows where my gear is. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? One of you cocksuckers stole my shit. Drill sergeants are in there. This is AIT, by the way, and down at Fort Sam Houston. And they're like flooding the bay and they're tearing beds apart, ripping out foot lockers all the way down one bay, down the other. And then TJ walks up to me and goes, oh, yo, man, you looking for your stuff? And I went, yeah. He goes, oh, it's in my locker. I looked at him and then I opened the door to the bay and looked out. Just chaos. Ceiling tiles being pulled down.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I'm like, I turned and I looked at TJ. I said, say not a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Don't you tell anybody. Just give me my bag. He gave me my bag back. That
do y'all ever jerk?
Apart.
Do you ever jerk when you're asleep? Like you're
I've never done that, but I'll flop and I've like hit girls.
I want to tell you the truth. If I'm asleep, I don't know.
I have woke myself up. I was laying on my arm like this one time and I jerked and I hit myself in the nose and I woke up and I'm alone. There's no one else at home. And I'm like, who the fuck is punching me in the face? I had no idea. I don't know if you've ever been punched in the face while you're asleep and there's no one in. I almost burnt the place down. I was like, well, fuck a ghost. I'm burning this bitch. You know, punch me in the face.
Oh my God, that's fucked up. So what are we doing these days, man? Because I hardly ever see you. I'm so glad you're back. So what have you been doing lately?
Jerk myself to sleep. Go away. Get back to work. Oh, sorry. Hold on. The girlfriend came out.
Oh, your girlfriend.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
How are things going with you? What are you doing these days? Still doing the movie breakdowns and shit?
Yeah. Not really breakdowns. We watch a movie and we make fun of it or each other and edit it together. It's a lot of fun.
Well, tell me about your show, dude. Toxic Tuesday. What's the deal?
Not my show.
Oh, it's not his show. That's Nick's show. But he fucking showed up last night, man. It just tickled all of us, man. Love seeing you.
Okay.
Last night.
Me bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's movies with Mad. That's really all I think all I got going on right now. But here, let me see if I can find this. Where would I find it? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem, bud.
Let me find it real quick because
share it in the private chat so I can share it out.
Well, we watched one of my favorite movies, Miami Connection. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. And damn it.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, dude, it's one of my favorite movies ever. Miami Connection, one of the greatest ones. Anyway, there's a monologue in there that this guy does, and we all did a rendition of it. And here we go. I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna share copy link to tweet. Here we go. I'm gonna put the tweet that I shared a clip of it.
Oh, I remember this movie.
Yeah, Miami Connection is one of the greatest movies ever made.
That's a fun film. 1987, right? 87, yeah. Oh, there it is. Let me go ahead and share that out for. Do you want me to share that
it's
with
like
everybody?
30 seconds. Yeah.
Here you go, guys. Check this out if you want.
Oh, I thought you were gonna play it here.
Oh, I can do that too. I'm sharing it out though. Click open, and once I open it, I'll share the screen. Share screen. They call it present now, which is really weird turn of phrase. It's not a fucking animal wanting to be fucked in the ass. Saying present is weird. Oh wait, did I share the audio? I don't think it's auto. Let me try that again. Share screen.
Maybe muted.
Brave tab. Yeah, it shares the audio. All right.
I can't believe you're. There you go.
Here we go.
My mother was Korean, and my father was Black American.
Not now. Fuck off.
She gave me this picture when she was real sick. I was only 9 years old. They say they loved each other. They were real loyal.
They were really happy. But then when he finished military duty,
He left, and we never saw him again. She told me to find him, but I didn't like him because he left us.
But I knew one day, when I grew up,
I would find him whether he was dead or alive.
I sent a couple letters to the Defense Department. Nothing
Nothing
happened.
happened.
End scene.
End scene. I swear to God, Yeti sounds like a fucking living human Muppet.
Dude, right after that, he tries to do it in his Japanese accent. It's horrible, but the whole video is worth a watch. Yeah, it's one of the greatest monologues I think ever said on film. And yeah, we did a rendition of it, and I thought it turned out pretty well. But yeah, we have a lot of fun.
See what
anyway.
Bailey brought me?
Oh, tore up some clothes or something? That's so sweet
Nice
of her.
thought.
She's protesting. But so you're doing that now. And then of course, are you going to be hopping back on with us over on Toxic Tuesday?
When I can, yeah. I also have a few videos that I do here and there if something hits me, like She-Hulk. You know, I did a video on that, how it's the greatest MCU series ever.
Not sarcastic at all.
Nope, not at all. My favorite, I think, is my Obi-Wan is the best Star Wars period.
Bestest
point
ever?
blank ever. Yeah. It also I re-edited the new Super Mario Brother trailer with a more accurate Super Mario voice.
Ooh. You added so I'm talking like this, eh?
It's to me, to the Mario.
Mario.
Yeah.
I
it's
like
pretty
that.
awesome. But yeah,
So
just some stuff like that, man. I mess around with.
What I like is even when you're not around, you're still around because Mark C with the big D, he puts your face whenever there's genitals or boobs. He puts your face over it.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
That's why I was like,
is Martin dead?
Martin just stays quiet.
Oh,
he's dealing with the chat, and I don't know what else. Martin, are you there, Martin?
No, I'm not here.
Okay, he's not here.
Yeah, man. What do y'all do next Tuesday?
Tuesday is Waterworld, and Tom just sent me the Ulysses cut of Waterworld, the between 3 and 4 hour long version.
Me.
And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to watch that. I want to see it because they said it's actually the best version with you get the whole story. I'm like, all right. Well, you're not a Waterworld fan.
I mean, I'm more of a Postman fan. I think Postman.
I love
better.
Postman. I love both of them. They're both post-apocalyptic, fucking sci-fi films without sci-fi in it. You know, I like that.
Okay, yeah. I can see how you say that. Yeah, I mean,
the Postman was like a future Western.
Yeah, almost the man with no name, or kind of paint the town red.
Anti-hero.
Hang him high.
Doesn't want to be there. He's the guy for the job. He's not the hero we wanted. He's the one we got.
Yep. And Lincoln Mercury Ford, was that his name?
Yep. Lincoln Mercury Ford.
Lincoln Mercury. I can't remember how it goes.
It was something like that. I love that. I love the names. I love all that shit. It also kind of reminded me a little bit of another film I enjoy, Western, with Tom Selleck called Quigley Down Under.
I'm a big fan of Quigley Down Under. You kidding?
Ditto.
I've always wanted the Sharps 1874.
I think that was the one.
Rifle?
Yep. Hell of a rifle.
Always wanted that rifle.
Because the
it's
villain
like
is very similar, if you think about it. The Postman villain has aspirations of being like General Lee, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, the villain Alan Rickman plays in Quigley has aspirations being Bill Hickok.
Oh, shit, that is Alan Rick. Yeah. Man, I got to watch Quigley Down Under again. That's a great movie.
I loved it when they run into the British Army and he says, no, we ran the ref out of our country. And I'm like, oh my God. What a great line.
They're not the same movie. One's on water, one's on land.
They're thematically Postman and it are very similar. Not Waterworld. I'm talking about the Postman, because the guy had aspirations of being like General Lee, the villain in the film, remember? And it just, for some reason, I always click on little things like that. Oh, that reminds me of that.
And Kevin Costner, he didn't have gills in Postman. Not the same movie.
It's not the same movie. Thanks for telling me, Matt. I had no idea.
I was telling people in the chat who said it was the same movie. It's not. But,
So what's your next one you're going to be going over? Any ideas?
No, I don't. I guess depends. I guess I could look at the lineup what y'all got coming up. I have access to that, but who knows? I don't know. Wait on you guys. I'm glad you guys are done with the James Bond. I mean, my goodness,
that was long because I don't like a lot of them.
No, no one does.
Like, really, for me, there are only 2 classic Sean Connery Bonds I really like, and then I didn't really, as an adult, 3 Roger Moores. I liked Live and Let Die. I liked The Spy Who Loved Me, and I liked For Your Eyes Only. Rest, I just couldn't stand.
I can't believe y'all didn't do Never Too Young to Die, the John Stamos American James Bond.
I don't even fucking remember. I'm sure I saw it.
Dude, we did this on Movies with Mad. It is a bananas. It has Gene Simmons as the bad guy. He plays Ragnar.
Oh, God.
It's awesome. It's a great movie. Never Too Young to Die. Check that thing out.
Now, talk about Gene. 2 films I like with him. One, A Dead or Alive with Rutger Hauer. And I liked him in that robot movie with Tom Selleck.
Not Replacement. What was it? I know it because it's on my list.
It's like their version, a new version of Blade Runner. They wanted to do.
Tom Selleck, the chick from Star Trek and Village of the Damned.
Kirsten Alley.
Yeah. Man, what's it called?
I can't remember. I got stupid Short Circuit stuck in my head now.
Well, now I have that stuck in my head.
Yeah, there you go.
It's something dumb too. It's like his job. He's a robot wrangler almost.
It is
robots go out of go off reservation.
It's much better than its title and its poster. And I enjoyed Gene. Gene was really good in the film as a villain, but he's better in Once a Dead or Alive with Rutger Hauer.
He's the best in Never Too Young to Die. He plays a transvestite in it. It's so much fun.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I think it's called Runaway.
Yes,
Runaway.
that is it. Runaway.
That was
see,
Runaway.
I knew
the gun with the tracking bullets that turn corners and everything. And
John said it's the same movie. There we go. John said that.
Yeah, that's what I was yelling at earlier.
Oh, I think you're talking about me, and I'm like, I didn't say that. Okay, I got you. Hey, give us what was your MOS in the Army?
19 Delta. I was a Cap Scout.
And you were deployed how many times? 1?
Oh yeah. No,
just
once. Saw everything I needed.
And you were wounded in combat, right?
Yep. It was an IED to a Bradley. Burnt over 30% of my body. Traumatic brain injury. All that good stuff.
That explains a lot.
I'm having problems with my mouse connecting.
What a dick, Gary.
I poke fun at Don every once in a while.
How dare you?
How dare you? I will say, hey, Don, how important is the show today? Did you put your leg on?
Fuck you, Gary.
But and part of the goal for this show is we want to support certain charities. My focus is on ones that deal more with PTSD because we have a lot dealing with the physical aspects. But I do support, and I'm friends with a lot of the guys over at Wounded Warrior Project. Did you find any help from them, your family?
Absolutely fucking not. Wounded Warrior Project is one of the biggest fucking frauds that there is. They spend nothing. In Australia, the version in Australia, less than 2% went to anyone that was wounded, and the people that were wounded were ones that worked in the company. No,
damn,
I called Wounded Warriors one time, and I really needed help with this. The first thing they did was, the guy not accused me. He's like, I can tell when somebody's just trying to get money from us. Bro, you know how much it takes for me to swallow my pride to come hat in hand to you? And the first thing you're going to like that. And then, you know what they did? They gave me numbers to other charities.
God damn.
No. Don't know. I had a buddy that worked with him too, and he's like, dude, this is some shady shit.
They've come under fire a lot. And I think it's a lot of the reason why my buddy Jeff Searcy left them.
Oh, absolutely. Dude. Nah, man. I don't know if you can tell. I'm not a fan.
No. And I was curious where you stood because it's really not the first time I've heard this. And even though I have friends that work there, my buddy Mike, which has been on the show, is with them. He's also another wounded warrior. He took 5 direct hits in one battle. Ooh. And his description of that moment, he went to lift his weapon to fire, but his arms were shattered from the rounds hitting him, and his arms were all spaghetti. And he's like, and he couldn't understand, why can't I pick up my weapon, and why isn't it coming up, so I can return fire. And it took him a while, blew off his finger, hit his spine. Oh, he got hit bad. But he got treated well with it. So he's one of those where wounded warrior.
He works with him, right?
He does now. He does now. And that was later, after they actually helped him. So it really sucks when you hear this shit, because and Bush even says it here. Bush's another veteran. Bush McFadden. Yeah. Wounded warrior has been in trouble for a while. Yeah, I've heard heat all the way back against them to 2008 was the first time I think I'd heard anything negative about him.
You know who helped me out? And they were the only people that helped me out after I got back. Don? Disabled American Vets, DAV.
Oh, DAV, right.
Did they help my grandfather was one of the founders of DAV at the end of World War One.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucking cool, dude.
He was one of the founders, and I'll tell you what, I was most active in originally the Military Order of the Purple Heart until I had a problem with them. And I went to the DAV. A woman who had been a military veteran had just become the commander of the local DAV post. And I went in to see her. I have a book here called Soldiers of Blair County, which went back to the Revolutionary War. It was a book that my grandfather and a couple of other of his World War I vet buddies, had put together about all the soldiers of Blair County they could find records of, going back originally to the freaking American Revolution. And it has his bio in there. At the time the book was published in 1938, so it was right before World War II. And there was a thing in there about him, along with later Congressman Jimmy Van Zandt, another World War I buddy of my grandfather. When they went down, I think it was to Cincinnati, when they were getting this whole DAV thing together. Now, they weren't the founders, but they were people working within the organization when it was getting recognized. So anyway, I thought this really would be something neat. So that makes me what? Kind of a legacy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I took this into this lady, and I showed her, and she's, oh, that's interesting. Just kind of blew it off. So I figured, you ignorant bitch, all right? I didn't call her a son of a bitch, Gary, but I did say, you ignorant bitch.
You sons of bitches.
And I said, you know what? Except for what the DAV did, most of those organizations, to me, seem like they were simply in it for themselves. Now, maybe that's a cynical look, but that's how I felt about it.
I think a lot of them are. When you start looking at the percentage of what actually gets out to those who need it, it's really nowhere near where it needs to be. Instead, it's for internal payment of employees and staff. So it's their own survival. Administration, and it's a complaint I have with a lot of things. Like, so much money, like in public schools. My big complaint: 70% of all federal money goes to administration first. 30% trickles down to everybody else. That's bullshit. And I'm certain it's pretty close to that with these groups, these organizations.
Most of them, yeah. Buddy of mine, he has his own charity that he does in Arizona for Arizona veterans. This dude, Brent Bretz, he was a sniper, and for whatever reason in Iraq, they're like, hey, take this unarmored LMTV and drive it over to there. And then they're out. And they're like, hey, there was an IED went off. Go by and check it out. And then got hit by a secondary. Lost both legs, one above the knee, one below the knee. And his arm's all jacked up. He can't use it. John McCain pinned him his Purple Heart on him while he was in the hospital. But real cool guy, man. Met him when I was at Fort Sam in the hospital.
The songbird.
Yeah, we're not fans of McCain.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's cool because he got the Purple Heart pinned on him from John McCain. I didn't get my Purple Heart pinned on me from a senator or whatever.
No, I had my Purple Heart tossed on my bunk at the hospital. Okay. In Paoli, Pennsylvania, Valley Forge. Hey, you're Ecker, yeah? Here. Got my Purple Heart.
Man, that Korean War was crazy.
Korean War.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you very much, motherfucker.
I thought it was a good guess.
Vietnam chick.
What did I just watch about the Korean? Oh, Devotion. I just watched that movie.
What'd you think? Vietnam, sweetheart.
Vietnam, okay.
What did you think of Devotion?
It was pretty good. It was pretty boring. It was good. It was boring. They spent so much time trying to convince us that they're friends, but I guess never felt it the whole time. It was fine.
Yeah, it's the kid from Top Gun plays his or the lead pilot, and the black dude is his wingman, but they kind of flip roles by the end of the film. And they're both each other's wingman, and their friendship, their bond, all that stuff. I want to see it. It's on my list of things to watch. It's in my queue.
You should watch it. It's on Paramount Plus.
Yep, and I have Paramount Plus. So
Korean War actually started a month before I was born.
Oh, Don, I'm sorry. It was Vietnam. All right.
God damn right you're sorry.
My bad.
Yeah,
to be fair, those continents, those islands are pretty close.
Yeah, it's like I remember I pissed my uncle off one time. I said, "You fought what do they call them? The Huns?" And he just at me like it was. I fought the Japanese. I was in the Pacific. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Oh man,
he was a PBY pilot.
Did y'all like the Pacific, by the way, Band of Brothers?
Yes, I did. And by the way, Dale, hopefully we're going to get him on here. Julia's going to join us first on the show. You should be around for that. Julia's going to join us to talk about some of the stuff that because she runs Warriors Inc. for Dale. And Dale is jaunting all over the world doing shit. But I think they just wrapped on the new series, the new HBO series.
Oh, nice.
Part of that franchise of the Band of Brothers. And I am not sure what this one's about. And I haven't been bugging them to find out. I'm going to find out when they come on the show and learn everything like fresh and live. So Julie's going to join us first. And then I think it's next month, Dale and Julie will both be on here to talk about what they're doing. It's good stuff, man. I love working for them. And in fact, I'm doing a cover right now for the latest Dale Dye book. I can't say the name of the title of the book, but it's one of the file books where his hero character is going to another place to deal with a problem. Vietnam vet. It's loosely based on him, Dale. That's why I put him on the cover of one of his books, Havana File. He's actually on the cover of that book. I put Dale's face right there, front and center, firing a weapon into a drone. I love his action books, man. He puts a lot of action in. But we have hit the mark where we are going to wrap up the show. I better start thanking everybody. And first of all, thanks for being here. Here's your thank you video, Matt, for showing up today.
What are you going to make me do? Whack a guy, off a guy, whack off a guy because I'm married?
Silence.
Okay. Weirdly appropriate.
Weirdly appropriate. Let's see. Let me get to the list here. Scott Lewis, Monkey Jeebus, Andy Morrow, Penny, which is Dork Knight's mom, Anima Confusa, love of my life, Parrot Head, M. Davdai White Naden, that's an interesting name, Dragon Ruse, Zax, also known as Kyle, Of course, you're here, so I'm going to thank you separately. Keely Chow, Real Wade Nation, Joe Fox. Let's see. Got to get through this. Dork Knight, who's Kenny's son. Bush McFadden, Larry. Let's see, and anybody else? That's it. That is everybody, and I want to thank Matt for showing up, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I want you to be on more of these shows. I will.
Harry can't hear a fucking word you're saying.
But I understood through your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. I want you on more shows. I want you to show up. You're one of my favorite vet buddies. And
so we just keep saying rap.
I didn't know what to think of you before you accused me of being a Korean War vet. Dad, now I have a genuine thought about you.
Bob Sir is only positive.
What thought is it, Don? Let's hear it.
We got to rap.
You got to wrap. Don't let Don say it. Don, thanks for being here with me. What a great show today. Fahim, thank you for showing up, man. God, I love him as a guest. He is such an awesome dude. And Martin, thank you so much for being the right side of my brain and running the chat. And then Chanel in the background. Here she is. There she is, Chanel. And she has no camera. Thank you so much for producing the show today. I want to thank KGRA for being an awesome radio network. And man, February 1st, we officially launch all our shows. And look forward to that. And that's it. Play us out, man.